This is going to be a real quick overview of the Tailstock version 7 part. First of all, let's just take a quick look at this part in 3D orbit. Now you can see some of the features, a general overview of how these features will be going on to make this part. A bit closer up view of those two platforms to the side of the cylinder. Just like that. So let me now simply rewind the part so you guys can at least see the order I made everything in. And started just with the base, real simple. Then I cut away at the base to create those notches. Then next actually was the cylinder way up top. And the cylinder was created by actually just sketching on this end surface and then doing an asymmetrical extrusion. Then place a work axis down the cylinder. Referencing the center of the cylinder will come in very handy in other sketches. A work axis is just done by going right up here on the ribbon and clicking on the cylinder, and that'll put a line right down the middle. Then next we created the long wall, and that was with a sketch on the end of the base. Do the left side first. Oops, sorry, let me F7 so I can slice it. Yep, do the left side first. Offset over to the right, close off the end with a little line. Make note it's tangent. This left line is a straight vertical line, an arc to the right, and then an arc to the left with tangent at all those points. Sorry, and then offset to the right. And then don't forget to put this little horizontal line that's tangent from the bottom of the circle and just comes over here to that intersection. And then we just extrude it to the other end of the base. Put a work excuse me. I put a work plane in on top that's tangent to the top of the cylinder. Then I start creating these little platforms that come off to the side here. See that one? And just an example of what the sketch might look like for that. There it is. So we have how far out the center point is, how far in on the cylinder it is, and what the radius is. And again, this sketch is tangent to the top of the cylinder because that's where the work plane is. And then we just simply extrude it down along the side. Next we'll do the bigger platform, and that just extrudes to the next feature. Just blends in there. We're going to place another work plane down here on the base, and that is so we can sketch on that and create these two smaller walls, and they have sketches that look like this. We hit F7. Special thing to note on this is when you're drawing these rectangles, go up inside the solid part of the cylinder. That way we get them to blend together correctly. Same thing here. This side I think I drew with a rectangle tool. This side I had to use the line tool and then just use parallel to get these two lines parallel. Degrees. The distances I just put in there to make sure the height was controlled and never shortened up on me. And then also note down here how far in the wall is from the end. And this side is also 1/4 inch thick. And then once you get them drawn, you just extrude back to the next feature. What I mean by that, just making sure right there it says to next. It should just extrude, that way you get a nice junction between the curved wall and these straight walls that you're adding. Then next we need to trim off this overhang back here. Like that. And to do that, you actually just put a sketch on the end of this surface here. And once you do, all you have to draw is this little line down at the bottom to connect to close this profile in. And then you do an extrude cut 2, and you have to select, when you say 2 here, you actually have to select that angled surface so it knows how far to extrude cut in. It'll just follow that surface then to cut away at an angle like that. Let's see, then get back to a little easier features, I think. We're going to drop a raised platform on the base there. Just sketch right on the top surface, extrude up. Oop. Collar on the end of the cylinder. Let me shut this back off for the moment now. So what I did there, in case we missed it, the cylinder's all one size. We sketch on the end of the cylinder, add another ring a little bit bigger, and thicken it down there. Then we're going to work on the bottom a little bit. Need to hollow that out. So create a rectangle shape with the proper wall thicknesses, extrude up in. We add a work plane. I used the plane tool. So I kind of demonstrate that actually. Plane tool, left click hold, drag it down. And you'll see how that's coming down from the ceiling of that hollowed out area. And then look for the appropriate distant measurement on your drawing. This is not the appropriate distance at the moment. And once you have that work plane placed, let's see that, a little bit of a discoloration so we can see about how far down my work plane is. We are going to put a sketch with just simple 2 lines horizontally, 2 lines vertically. You can probably see all my dimensions right there. And then use the actual rib tool to create the ribbed area for structure and strength here underneath. Let's see, after that, little feature on top here had to be put in, and that was by actually turning back on my first work plane that was tangent to the top of the cylinder. I could sketch on this, drew that slot shape, extruded a little bit down, appropriate distance up. Pretty sure it was an asymmetrical. It was. So the 0.1 down is just to make sure there's something joining the cylinder below, and the 1875 up is the actual distance up we want. Oops. Shut that back off. Shut off some of these work planes for the moment. Right there. Shut off that work axis. Okay, once I have the solid part done, now you can start looking at adding holes that go through the parts or the features. There's that one. And there's 5 holes that have to be done. So 1 on the cylinder, 2, 3, 4, and 5 down here below. And after that, it is a lot of fillets. So I'll hover here for a minute so you can kind of see all the highlights. Maybe I can rotate that a little bit better. Hover again. That was my first group of fillets. Here's my second group of fillets. I'll try to turn that. And then third group, just those two little front ones. Don't forget you can pause this anytime to look at that more closely. There's lots of fillets on this. And then on the front, kind of rolling the end over. By the way, all fillets are 1/8 of an inch, 0.125. Let's see, next group. Back on the small platforms over here. So we're going to fillet those edges. Fillet around that feature on the very top, just where it meets the cylinder. Little raised area on the base needs some fillets. These fillets here are all underneath in the ribbed area. So I got one group that just kind of does the hollowed out area first. And then I did a group of fillets that went all around the ribs. And then even those 4 little corners there. So the only thing that's not filleted underneath here are this bottom surface doesn't have any edges that are rolled over up into the part. But as you can kind of see here, all the other surfaces get fillets. And just one fillet left. Right there on the cylinder, we put a fillet there as well. Okay, so a little overview of that part. Hopefully the order will at least help you, or at least point you in the right direction on which features to make in which order, and hopefully lead to more success with this part. Good luck.